Hello YouTubers, it's Michelle and I am back again with my second design team project for Diemond Dies for their 2014 August release. Before I share my design team project, my second one, I do want to remind everybody that if you visit Diemond Dies at www.diemonddies.com and you use the promo code YT discount, all one word, all lowercase letters, you will receive 10% off of your order if it's over $35 plus free shipping. And that does include international shoppers, so super great deal there. So definitely go check them out and don't forget to use that promo code so you can get some more extra savings on your order. Move that out of the way, and I'm going to share with you the second design team project that I made, and this is it. And I'm going to lay it like, let's see, this is going to be super hard. Okay, let's see here. The angle here is going to be pretty hard to do. Let's see. I'm shooting from a different direction right now because my scrap room is a complete mess. So, I'm trying to figure out here. Okay. The lighting's not that great either. Okay, this is like on an angle, so it's going to be kind of hard to do. But as you can see, what I did is I made a Shadowbox frame out of the Laura's Little Purse album, mini album die. And I absolutely love this die. If you watched my video showcasing the new dies, you'll know that Laura, who is on our design team, who is Lauraluvslace here on YouTube, she actually had a hand in creating this die. So super cute little die, and of course it makes a super cute mini album. But my first thought was, what a cute little frame that it would make, or a shadow box, or even a shaker box or something. So that's what I decided to do. So what I did is, first of all, I cut the, because I'm going to tell you what not to do if you decide to do this, because I had a little bit of trouble cutting. So, and that was my fault because I put way too much, I had too much stuff there to cut. So I'm going to tell you how to do it to make it easier to cut. What I did was I cut the purse die out of chipboard, and then I cut it out of the pattern paper that I used, which was the My Mind's Eye Chalk Studio paper. And then for the back, I used a heavyweight cardstock, black cardstock, to back it. So I cut that out of the purse. Then I took all three cutouts that I had cut out, and I covered the front of the chipboard with the pattern paper, and then I covered the back of the chipboard with the cardstock. So then I decided to cut my shape out, because I thought, well, that would be the easiest way, because then it would cut all out at once. Well, yeah, that makes sense, but it was just way too much to cut, because these are thin dies, and they will cut chipboard. You know, if it would have been just the chipboard, it would have cut it. If it would have just been the cardstock, it would have cut it. If it would have just been the pattern paper, it would have cut it. But to add all three of those, it was just too much. And so I had to keep running it through and running it through, and I bet I ran it through 20 times. That's no joke. And it still did not completely cut it all the way through. It did cut in certain spots, which made it easier for me, because what I did was then I took the scissors and I cut around it and stuff. But it did make the edges a little bit rugged. So my suggestion is what to do would be to cut out your pieces, cut out your 3 pieces of, if you want to do a front and a back to your chipboard and you want to cut it out of chipboard, my suggestion would be to cut the chipboard piece out of the purse, cut the pattern piece out of the purse, and cut the cardstock piece out of the purse. But do not adhere the cardstock and the pattern paper to the chipboard until you have cut out your frame part, which I use the top note label dies, the nesting 2 label dies, the top note. That's what I use to do my frame. So what my suggestion would be is to maybe take the chipboard and decide where you want to put your frame and put it on there, on that piece, and then cut it out. And then once you've cut that out, then take your pattern paper and put it under the chipboard where your hole, and so your chipboard is on top and the hole is on top, and then take your die and place it in that hole, and then put it on your machine, and then cut out the center of your pattern paper, and then do the same thing for your cardstock. And I hope that makes sense, because that way you're using that one piece as kind of like your guide, as your kind of like stencil or whatever, and where to lay your die, and then you're only really cutting out one piece at a time, because if you go to cut all 3 out, it's just too much for the die. So that is my suggestion on doing this, if you decide that this is something that you want to do, and to me that would be the easiest way to do it. So that's my suggestion. So otherwise, it all came along really, really smoothly and everything. It was just that. So, and that was my fault, because like I said, I just put too much on there and expected way too much of the die. So what I did, like I said, is I covered it with the My Mind's Eye Chalk Studio paper, because this is a very large die, and I wanted to do it out of the Optimist paper, because I wanted to do the whole set that I did. I wanted to do it out of the whole all of the same paper, but this die actually measures about 6.5 by 5.5, and I just had the 6x6 pad of the Optimist paper, so the paper was not big enough. So that's another thing to think about with this die, is that you are going to have a paper pad that's probably 8x8 or larger to cover this die. So anyway, so I decided to use the Chalk Studio, and that's what I covered it with. And then, like I said, I went ahead and cut everything out all together. So that made my little shadow box. And then what I did, and I'll show you here on the back, is I just took a piece of cardstock, or not cardstock, but a piece of chipboard, which is this piece right here, and I cut it a little bit larger than what the frame is on the front of the top note. Cut it larger than that, and then I made little hinges out of cardstock on the sides and on the bottom. Now I left the top open because I wanted you to have room where you could like slip a picture in there, put a picture in there. So that's what I did there. And then all I did was took a piece of cardstock, of heavyweight cardstock, and I just made my own little easel out of it. Really super easy, as you can see. I just took it, bent it in half, and then made little hinges right there to adhere to the back of that chipboard, so it will sit up just like that. You can put your picture in there. So Along with the little purse die, I also used the bow die, which I absolutely love. This is the smaller of the three bows that I used, and I just cut those out of cardstock and coordinating cardstock, and I just adhered them on there. And then this down here is just a piece of one of the tags from the Optimist collection, and again I used one of my $1.50 or actually dollar stamps. It's a dollar stamp from Michael's, and I stamped that out with white ink from Close to My Heart, and I let it sit for a few minutes, and then I just took my finger and kind of wiped over it to give it like that little distressed look and make it have that chalkboard effect. So I just thought this turned out super, super cute. Like I said, you could also do this as like a shaker box. If you just close that top there and then put like a piece of acetate over the front here, you could put little things in there and shake them around and stuff, and actually even still put a picture in there. So there's lots and lots and lots of really cute things that you can do with this die other than just to do the mini album. And like I said, I just thought it was a super cute little die, and it's not super cute little, but it's super cute big. I just thought it was really super cute, and I thought, the possibilities of the things that you can do with it. Of course, you can make cards with it, and you can add it to your pages on scrapbook layouts and stuff because it is large enough. And of course, then you can make the mini albums. So this is my take on the die. So I hope you like it, and definitely stay tuned for my third and last project for Diemond Dies. It will be coming up shortly. Thank you for watching, and have a great day. Bye bye.